Page 33, C position. Well, they're throwing a whole lot of stuff at us again here. Let's look this over. I'll just take it a piece at a time. If you're starting to get confused or forgetting, please go back and review everything again. There's a lot of review required because you really need to know all this stuff. You can't forget any of it. On page 32, they're introducing you to the grand staff. They show it at the bottom of the page. It's got a bunch of whole notes in it. Forget the whole notes. All we're interested in a grand staff is in this case, it's 2 stabs, 2 sets of 5 lines, and they're connected with vertical bars. And when they're connected like that with vertical bars, it means you play the stuff in both stabs at the same time. You have to read both stabs at the same time. Now, hold on. Like I said, go have a beer or something, relax, glass of wine, whatever works. We'll get through this. The top staff, you'll see, has the treble clef in it, the G clef, and the bottom staff has the bass clef or the F clef. And at the beginning of the grand staff, you see that curly brace? The curly brace is what identifies it as a grand staff. When you see 2 lines like that with a curly brace, it's a grand staff. Other instruments use a grand staff. Your organs, harps, any instrument that has a lot of notes might use a grand staff. They're showing you where the notes are for C position. Well, let's take a look at page 33 because there are too many notes there on page 32. Let's look at page 33. You've already had this position in the right hand for the lesson on page 31 where you were here. Okay. The position is where you put your hand, and for now the name of the position is the bottom note. So if I'm here, the bottom note here is a C, therefore this is C position. So you've already had C position in the right hand. And you've had C position in the left hand, we didn't use the thumb. You've had this. Then we had the thumb, so we have 5 notes. And you should know that's a G because we've already had that G, so this is a G. And the bottom note is C, so this is C position in the left hand. So we've already had this pretty much. The only difference is I've added this note. C position. Now, there are a lot of C positions on the piano because it could be here, 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 all over the place. It doesn't matter where they're. Lots of C positions. Which C position we're using depends on the music. It tells us where to go. So we look at the music. Look here at the beginning of C position. It starts out in the bottom staff with a C for the left hand. They want a little finger on that. That puts you're in this C position for the left hand. And in the second line, you'll see you're on middle C here, thumb. So we're in this C position for the right hand. So we're here, according to the music. Some other piece, we might be in some other C position. Who knows? It's whatever the music needs. That's what we do. Now, there is a box there on page 33, and there's no rule that says that some teachers teach as a rule. It's not a rule. It's just convenient. The upper staff, the treble clef stuff, usually has the higher notes in it. And it's just convenient to use the right hand because it's closest to them. And the bass clef stuff, it has the lower stuff in it. So we use the left hand for that. So for now, we're just automatically going to think if it's the treble clef stuff, the upper staff, we're going to use the right hand. And the bottom staff, the bass clef, we're going to use the left hand. We'll work on that later. Right now, that's the way it's going to be. It's just an automatic thing. You just, okay, which staff is it in? That's the hand I'm going to use. So in C position, the first line is all bottom staff, that's left hand. And the second line is all top staff, that's right hand. So the hands are playing one at a time, but we're still reading stuff in both stabs. Fortunately, one of the stabs is empty. So I'm going to go through my system now to learn a piece of music. First thing I do is I look it over. I see it's 2 lines long. A line is 1 grand staff. So it's got 2 stabs in it. That's 1 line. Because you're going to play the stuff in both stabs at the same time. So you're going to play it across. 1 line, and then you do the second line. So it's 2 lines long. And treble and bass clef 4/4 time signature, and I look through, I see a bunch of quarter notes and whole notes. I think we can handle those. We've had those before. So the first thing I want to do is I do a play and say it drill to make sure I know the names of the notes in the music, and I'm playing the note on the piano at the same. I want to hear the note is what I'm after. We're training the ears. It's called oral training, where you get used to hearing. You see that note, you get used to hearing. You sort of use this G here. You're not going to hear, if you hear that G, you know that's not that note. That's some other G or some other note. So we want to get used to hearing those notes. So I play it and say it. In the left hand, we're here. And I'll just take it one line at a time here. It's just C, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C. And the second line is right hand. We're here. C, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C. I want to just get to where I know the names of the notes. You don't have to go that fast. I speed things up a little bit in these lessons so the lesson doesn't last as long, because after a while I get bored. I'm sure you get bored, so it doesn't work. So I speed things up a little bit. You don't go that fast. Once I have the notes down, I know what they are, I add the rhythm. And the rhythm's easy enough because it's just quarter notes and whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. You just go through the whole thing. Make sure you can play it. Now, once the beat starts, it has to continue through the whole piece. So you have to have both hands on the keyboard ready to go, because when you end the first line, you're here. And at the end of 4 counts, you got to start right in here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it starts, so the beat is a steady beat all the way through. In between the stabs, you see the little MF? That's an abbreviation of another Italian word or term. And it's called mezzo forte. And it means moderately loud. Remember, F is forte, that's loud. Well, MF is moderately loud. It's not as loud as loud. It's sort of loud. You decide what that is. I don't care. The point is, it's not soft. It's not loud. It's sort of loud. I'll leave that up to you on how loud sort of loud is. But they're telling you about how loud to play the note. Play them all. Play the piece. In the box there on page 33 in the middle, they're telling you about the stems up or down. Unless you're into writing music and you're going to handwrite it, I don't think you really need to worry about it. There are so many exceptions to this, it's hard to tell. But they're trying to keep the notes more or less with the stem and the note. They want to keep it pretty much within the staff if they can. That's all that's for. So once you get to the middle line on staff, the stems tend to go down. Otherwise, they might go up. It doesn't affect how you play the note. It doesn't affect what the note is. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just a convenient way of trying to keep everything nice and neat in the printed page. And if you happen to go browsing through music to see this, you're going to see all kinds of exceptions. Wouldn't worry about it. Let's play this together to make sure you got everything okay. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, ready, go. And then I'm going to play it really slowly, and you can play it along with me. Just check and make sure you have all the right notes at all the right times. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, off.